Editor style mitigate here. It's been several days since I recorded this, and I was not having a good time. The sickness had kicked my ass the night before, so I sound bad, and I'm just not quite with it here. I thought I might take another crack at reacting to this pre-stream, but I didn't realize the RawPhil streams go down afterward, and it's just not worth giving the guy a view over it. Early in the video, I had a take about how maybe I'm thinking about the LARPers and DSP's chat wrong. I thought it was a novel and interesting idea. I watched it back to clip it, and boy howdy did I fumble the delivery. So I'm going to pop back in later, say the thing better, and then fast forward through the original segment. Let's get on with it.
Good morning, everyone. On today's show, I've got some big major updates regarding
is this the cold open again
that are right around the corner. So if you're interested in how those are going to go down, you're not going to want to miss it. And in addition, the big topic for today, the first time ever, I will be setting up mods for a game that I'm going to play relatively soon. It's going to be Dark Souls 1, and we're going to set it up live and pick what mods I should first attempt to use when I play the game probably tomorrow. Plus, a lot of chill vibes and fun as usual.
Yeah, pretty sure this is the cold open
of the Level 1 podcast.
I don't know why I even bother starting at 1x speed, because the guy talks so slow. Not only does he have nothing to say ever, but he speaks so slowly. Like, the only downside is that I can't spend as much time focusing on what's going on in both of his chats, but...
Refilling my drink. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today? Hope I find you all well. Welcome to the show. One thing that I need to start doing is figuring out exactly the right microphone positioning for the
Sarah Barclay. Marvel Rivals is so much fun. We should make a DSP community lobby in Rivals.
It's supposed to be basically under the sea with fish. It's kind of cool. It looks like there's fish swimming by in the back.
Oh my god, and we're getting another RGB light segment. Please. But yeah, this Sarah Barclay gotta be LARPing. Like, there's like, when he wage quits a game like this, you can't be saying this stuff in the chat. Like, that's gonna paint you for a detractor.
I think it looks quite nice, so enjoy. And welcome. It is Thursday, the 2nd of January, 2025. Today will be a nice, more laid-back show, although admittedly, a little nervous. I've never done any kind of mods before for any game outside of very, very minor stuff. For example, many years ago, when Fallout...
All right, and now we're getting a history lesson on DSP and modding games.
Like Macho Man, Death Claws, and stuff like that. It was pretty fun to do, but it was also incredibly easy to set up because it was all downloaded through the game.
It was pretty fun to do.
I did mods again for Fallout 4 when we played it last year, and I think I had done 1 or 2 mods.
Having another liquid death, trying to stay hydrated while I feel like death.
And from what I'm to understand, you got to be careful. With mods that you apply to PC gaming, you could basically screw it up. You can actually screw up your whole game. You could do damage to your PC if you're not doing them properly. So today, I definitely want...
This guy, I've never modded a game, so like, real talk, like, I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. I've never modded a game, but like, I don't think that this guy also knows anything about modding games, but this is like classic DSP behavior, right? Like, where he doesn't know shit about what he's talking about, but he talks about it like he knows everything there is to know.
Playing a modded version tomorrow. And so, what do we want to apply? Probably a graphical mod for sure, right? That's one of the biggest things. So I'm on a modern gaming PC. I'm going to want to implement the best.
Yeah, probably going to want a graphical mod.
Graphical upgrade that we can apply to the game. But also, the game itself will probably have different things you can do with it. And I guess my big question, which we're going to tackle today, is it easy to swap between mods? Like, let me give you an example. Maybe one stream, we want to do a complete randomization mod where all the enemies in the game are shuffled around. Right? That could be interesting and fun to do, but I don't know if I necessarily want to do a whole playthrough of it. Maybe just one stream. Then maybe for another stream, I want to try out one of these.
And now we're begging for more feedback.
They've basically redesigned the game from the ground up. New order of enemies, redesigned gameplay mechanics and fights and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, that would be kind of cool.
Like, I feel like this is an indication of how, like, DSP has no fucking clue what he's talking about.
I'm curious. So we're going to talk about that today. But
like, it's just listening to DSP describe what a mod can do just makes me think he has no fucking clue.
After hours, excuse me, after hours, essentially, after I'd stopped streaming, I came back into the office late at night and did a little bit of work, trying to get together my thoughts on you know, what were the best and worst games, the best playthroughs, the most disappointing playthroughs.
Whoa, DSP worked off stream?
And I do have some big updates. Okay, I do. I have some big updates in regards to this. So tune in today for sure if you want that topic. It's some pretty interesting stuff, including the possibility that if progress keeps up at the rate it's going, I may actually be doing my year-end series pretty soon. You know, maybe as soon as like Sunday or Monday. Okay?
So,
second, guys, since I sneezed, I gotta blow my nose so I don't sneeze again. Maybe I can do that.
Schedule segment.
Why don't I?
Okay. I do want to look at, just again, look how carefully the guy has to get out of his chair, right? He rotates and then he picks up his feet and then he puts them down in really particular spots and then he stands up. But I don't care about this. I'm not going to stare at a chair.
Okay. No, I'm not grumpy. I sneezed and then someone said something ridiculous in chat, so it's all good. No. Okay.
Someone said something ridiculous in chat.
I want to figure out this mic situation. Like, I think right now it's a good place, but it is kind of blocking the portal gun, and it's like, no matter where I put it, it seems to be blocking something, right? I guess, could we try putting it up a tiny bit higher? Like that, I guess?
He's so stupid.
Now there's definitely going to be more echo, because it's much further away from me, see? Well, there's not much I can do. Let me know how it sounds. Now, FYI, the filter should be on properly today. Remember yesterday's podcast that they were off because I'd restarted my PC the night before? Today, the filter should be in place, so hopefully everything is sounding good.
I feel like the snorts are coming through a little stronger than they have been in the past.
So, where to begin today? Well, let's begin at something really positive, shall we? That's right. Take a look below.
Oh my god, and we're at another goal segment.
In recent memory.
I hate that little, like, stupid thing he does when he points to stuff and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna, we'll just look right over here, everyone.
Right? And now here we are. We've already hit 40 goals, and now we are 3 towards our new reward. Now we've talked about this, so let's refresh everyone's, minds here. The goal at 50 is a triple reward goal.
And now we're talking about goals and schedule.
And we go through a variety of them in a marathon setting, and they probably piss me off. Or PC-centric, meaning maybe I play some games that have always been exclusively on PC just to get a taste for what they actually are. Someone had even said,
and this is a segment that we literally had yesterday where DSP was talking about what he could potentially do during his like 50 goal reward stream. And because the guy has nothing ever interesting to say, we're just going to repeat that segment again. And I think that we're going to continue to repeat this segment until we actually hit the goal at 50. And then we'll probably repeat it a couple more times until we actually have the goal.
So I just want to say thank you. And this is the big difference between the new way that we are doing these rewards versus the streak. Remember, with the streak, the way it worked is every
Popula in the kick chat, I'm down for monetizing the stream like a gotcha game. Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Well, now we're doing these rewards. Even if we don't continue the streak, you might have an odd stream here or there where you don't hit the goal. For example, I'll be honest. The other day we played Indiana Jones, which is actually what we're playing on this stream, and we didn't hit the goal. And did it end everything? Did it ruin everything for everyone? No. In fact, that was perfectly fine that we didn't hit the goal.
Yeah, Sarah Barclay going off again in the chat. I think the community should elect the mods. We know who the trolls and sock accounts are. Well said, Sarah Barclay. Well said.
We have a stream with incredibly low support. Obviously, I'm going to say, hey, please support the stream, yada, yada, yada. But it's not the end of the world because you can have a one-off bad stream.
And we're still talking about the new streak system, the new goal system. Editor Mitigate here. On the topic of LARPers and giving DSP money. Maybe LARPers aren't necessarily a subset of detractors, which is an assumption I've held for a long time. Consider that maybe LARPers are more interested in just being silly, goofy guys in DSP's chat, seeing how far they can push the boundaries of what they can say, gaslight the guy, etc., and are just less interested in actively outright detracting. Like, maybe that's the fun part for LARPers, right? If your primary goal as a LARPer is to play a character that you've been developing collaboratively with the other LARPers in DSP's chat, and you've been doing that for a long time, then you're invested in that character. And in the event that you cross a line, especially if DSP is feeling especially pissy that day or whatever, and he identifies you as a bad actor and bans you, then that's the end. It's like losing a character in which you've invested a lot of time and energy in a hardcore permadeath game. Like, you can't just make a new chat account and be like, hey guys, it's me, the LARPer DSP banned yesterday, because he'll see you and just ban you again. So all the investment that you made into building your LARP persona is essentially gone forever. Knowing that, then the proposition of giving DSP a non-zero amount of money starts to make a little more sense. We all know that giving DSP money buys you some protection if you're trying to walk a line in his chat, and especially protects you from catching strays when DSP has his little man baby, I'm sick of the negativity in the chat segments, and just starts banning handfuls of people. I'm not saying that anyone should give DSP money, but I think if you consider that LARPers may not be people that outright hate DSP and just enjoy messing with him and role playing in his chat, then the idea of paying a little money now and then to ensure that you can continue to do that with a character you've invested in isn't that crazy of an idea. Now back to Sarah Barclay. Sarah Barclay is really funny. The things they get away with saying in DSP's chat make me laugh. But I do think it's very likely that if Sarah had never given DSP any money whatsoever, that account would have just been banned some time ago.
Keep contributing and keep that positivity rolling because you're getting closer to a reward right away.
Yep, got to keep the positivity rolling.
Today, well, there's no point in contributing any further because it doesn't help anything. Now it does. You're seeing, look at this. We're at 43 in what, 2 to 3 weeks? Not even. This is way more accelerated than the streak was. So this is excellent. And so remember, here's the goal. Number 1, a marathon. All right.
Wait.
At the rate we're going.
Okay, maybe I'm dented, but did he just say that that the new goal system is more profitable than the streak system? Is that what he said? I'm not gonna rewind because I don't care that much, but I feel like he just got done saying that having more streak, like having the new goal system is more profitable than having the streak system was. But that's really hard for me to like square because it seems to me that like if you were doing a streak, right? Like you still had these days where people just gave you $600 for no reason. And then obviously you didn't carry over that like above the goal money into like the next day so that people still had to give you at least $150 every stream, both streams the next day to keep the streak alive. So it's really hard for me to internalize how that's like how like DSP could be saying this just because he's an idiot and a liar and he doesn't understand how math works and he wants, people to think he's really cool and smart and like always, past DSP was bad, current DSP is good, right? And this just might be like one of those cope segments that he does. But I feel like I've already spent too much brain power thinking about that. So we're just going to move on.
It looks like we're doing it next week. I would probably say the end of next week because I don't really think every single stream we're going to hit the goal. At the same time, multiple times this week, we have had streams where we hit multiple goals. And it's not even just like one particular person. One night, it might be someone coming by and wants to be really supportive and is just a top contributor in all 3 ways, YouTube, Kick, and PayPal. But then another night, I'm returning to fighting games and people are really invigorated to see Street Fighter come back. And you've got like 3 or 4 people who go crazy and are all kind of competing. It's really awesome. And I'm very happy for that. That there's people from different, likes of games and stuff coming by. Hey, one night's fighting game night. One night is a chill night. One night is an action-based night with Call of Duty. And they're all supporting for different reasons. That's excellent. So because of that, we've been hitting these goals very frequently, all right, and at very big accelerated rates. So with this
very big rates,
I'm thinking probably end of next week, like probably about a week from now-ish, we'll be doing a marathon. All right, now it'll be one of probably the 4 ideas that we've discussed. Do still have a little bit of time left to figure it out. So let's keep talking about it.
There's some people in his Kick chat that are telling him his mic is cutting out, and there's also some people in his YouTube chat saying the same thing. It occurred to me yesterday that people like his mic was cutting out, so I listened back to the podcast yesterday because I was waiting for it to render, and I wanted to cut out like the dead air from like muting my mic and stuff. So I was just listening to back to like the raw recording, and I realized that people had been making those comments, and I didn't even like. I have like blocked out when his mic cuts out because I'm so used to his mic being shitty. And in the past, like a lot of his cutouts have just been from him swaying around and just moving away from his mic. So I like part of me is just. Like there's part of my like subconscious that just has accepted that the guy's going to sound shitty. So it didn't even register to me that he was cutting out when he would like during the podcast. And so I identified those comments, like legitimately informing him that his mic was cutting out as like LARPers. But like, this is to expand on a point I made yesterday. Like that, these are fine comments to make, because you have a team of people in two different chats that are making that same claim, right? So like the problem that the one LARPer troll ran into the other day was that he just thought that person just thought they could say that and like get DSP to be concerned about his mic. But like, here's the thing: is someone's like, DSP is smart enough that when someone says this sort of thing, that he's not going to like immediately jump on it, right? So like, if you recall, that LARPer said something about, hey, your mic's cutting out, but DSP saw it and he didn't respond to it immediately. Like, he was scanning the chats and seeing if anyone else would reinforce that. And like, when no one else did, that's when he stopped the chat after, I forget what it was, maybe like 15 seconds. He stopped what he was doing. He's like, hey, is this guy lying? And then he banned that person, right? So that's what, I think the point, even though I was, I wasn't quite on point with my observations for what was going on throughout the stream, I think the point still stands of like, if you're gonna try to gaslight DSP, you got to be more subtle than that.
Course of the week coming up.
ALTs_Mike_arm.
Okay, so
excellent LARPer name.
I'm also going to do.
Oh, and he subbed on Kick
with the King during that marathon event. So this is different from DSP tries it, and allow me to explain how. When I'm doing DSP tries,
see the ends of wind in the Kick chat. That's like an excellent LARPer, because the things that ends of wind typically says are like negative, but they're not negative enough that it causes the guy to like, get mad and outright ban you. I don't think DSP has addressed the ends of wind in the Kick chat. But like, that's how you do it. That's how you spread the negativity.
It's not meant to be a big review, you understand? So it is very different. Okay, so that'll be fun. Plus, and I've already thrown this idea out with you guys. Excuse me. I've already thrown this idea out for you guys. Perhaps a liquor taste test. Okay, instead of
this former alcoholic begging to drink on stream.
Either a beer or some kind of a canned drink, or even maybe just one kind of liquor that I could get in my liquor store, and I could try live during the marathon stream. And of course, it could be.
Okay, we pause it again. So he's couching this as a liquor taste testing stream, and when he's telling you the options of the things that you can have for the liquor, the things that you can give him money to buy for him to try on his liquor taste testing reward stream, is one bottle of liquor. He's like, I can have beer, or I can have stuff in cans, or I could get a bottle of liquor. And it's like, that's not really a taste test if you're buying one bottle of something. Like, that's you just trying a new bottle of liquor, right? A taste test, presumably you have like a variety of different things, and like a wine tasting, you have like several wines that you taste, and you don't actually like, you're not supposed to like actually drink it. You literally taste it, you put it in your mouth, and then you spit it out. But like, it's the guy being dented. What else is new?
I taste it during the course of gameplay, or maybe I have a segment where I taste it, whatever we want to do. I'd be okay with that. So that would be cool.
I would be okay with you giving me money to drink on stream
as a reward for all of your overwhelming support. Okay.
And still giving me money while I'm drinking on stream.
We're going to lock it in stone as a date of when we're doing the celebratory event, and we're going to, that way I can prep and go get all the stuff that we need. What I would say is, I need to know very soon what kind of like beer or liquor you guys would want me to test. I'd like suggestions. And the reason is,
Feedback Goblin strikes again.
And so I very well may need to grab this liquor Saturday when I'm out. We only have today and tomorrow to kind of talk about it and try to figure out some suggestions, and then I can try grabbing it when I'm out and see if they have it. If not, it has to wait another week, in which case it might not have it in time for the marathon. See? So I would like to have it in time for the marathon. Casper King, what's going on? Where did this cat come from? Oh, this is funny.
He thinks he's so funny.
Yes, Sarah, I literally only leave my house once a week because I'm working literally 6 days a week full time. That's correct. I know for other people it's weird. Yeah,
there's no way that Sarah Barclay doesn't know that. There's 0% chance that Sarah Barclay legitimately had to ask that question. And that's how you do it, right? Like DSP isn't going to get like, he's not going to get bent out of shape that you asked this question, but it does like derail him momentarily, and it gives him the chance to say something really stupid And like, so like, that's one of those questions that if DSP was already kind of pissy about something and you asked that question and he responded to it, odds are a lot better that you get an ass chewing for it. I don't think he'd ban, like, I don't think he would ban someone like that for that question. But again, Sarah Barkley is, you know, as far as I know, given DSP money. So like, they're not like a target in DSP's head for something as minimal of an infraction as that. Right. Because asking, oh, you only leave the house once a week, that carries the implication that's not that you should be leaving the house more than once a week, which I think is really like true. Like you know, for outside of people with physical conditions or medical conditions that prevent them from leaving the house, like being stuck in your house for 6 days a week is really like not the way to be.
So anyway,
and this is my son Jasper.
What kind of marathon? Let's figure out what the kind of booze is that you guys would like me to test during this marathon reward. That's going to be probably the end of next week. Okay. And if you want to see it happen, if you want to lock in, and then we can start the planning concretely of what day it's going to be and everything.
We're still on this like
so many ways you can contribute to
reward segment bag, like sneak bag thing.
You've got subs and gifted subs on the Kick side of stuff, and of course you got tips, which you can do no matter where you are.
Here's all the ways you can give me money.
Just check out
literally everyone knows how they can give you money, DSP.
Information about that. If you're watching on demand, check the description of the video, and you can figure out how to do all that stuff. All right.
Well, did you guys know that if you want to give me money, then you should. Sarah Barkley must have had their Wheaties this morning because I work from home but have to get out of the house every day for my mental health. Understand how full on your job is, though. See, this Sarah Barkley is probably one of the best LARPers I've seen. This is peak, especially when you have the context of this messages that have come before it. This is peak LARP content. Excellent work, Sarah.
So today, it's going to be the continuation of Indiana Jones. No, you're not going to. My seltzer. Not Jasper. I'm not going to drink seltzer water. It's the continuation of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We have now arrived in the third area of the game, the Himalayas. I think this is going to be one of the shorter areas of the game. I've actually heard that the areas are kind of different. The first area, which was the Vatican, was very lengthy with a ton of content. Egypt was pretty lengthy, I would say. I heard there's one or two areas that are quite short, and I think this probably will be one of them. I'm not sure because I haven't played the game yet. But if it's anything like what we saw in the previews, you remember during
so we're getting a extended schedule segment where we're talking about what we've done in one of the games that we're playing, and presumably what we will do in one of the games we're playing. As is classic for the Guys podcast, we're either talking about what we've done in the content or what we plan to do in the content.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6 keyboard and mouse action.
Yep. Schedule segment continues.
You're not drinking my drink. Since I've started playing on keyboard and mouse, I've had a reinvigoration of excitement for Black Ops 6. If you haven't noticed,
reinvigoration of excitement.
That the skill-based matchmaking is kicked in. I'm still doing pretty well. Being on keyboard and mouse allows me to react a lot more quickly. And
okay, hold up. So DSP, what did he just say? He said that even though skill-based matchmaking is a thing, I have climbed rank high enough that I am now in the skill-based matchmaking, but I'm still doing really well. Like, does that statement, and he says he's doing well because he's using keyboard and mouse, and like from what I understand, keyboard and mouse is the superior way to play FPS, especially on PC. But like, I think the bigger takeaway here is that DSP's implying that usually when he enters into skill-based matchmaking, he usually does bad, and like that's the implication that it's because he's bad. And like we have all seen, the highlights from DSP's FPS gameplay in the past. So
having a great time with it. I can't wait to play more tonight. Obviously, you do the daily challenges and all, but then seeing what else is available. Last time I played with
I'm loving the game. You guys are loving the game.
I don't know. I'll take your suggestions. I like taking your suggestions on how I should play for variety purposes.
Give me feedback.
Better experience. So good stuff coming tonight. Tomorrow, if everything goes well, setting up the mods for Dark Souls today.
So again, more schedule segment.
One remastered on the PC now with mods. So I guess we'll see how
mods
it goes, and go from there. Okay. What is the bitrate on my kick stream? I forget off the top of my head. Jasper, let me touch my mouse. Relax, let me. The bitrate is 8,500. I think that's the max that Kick allows is 8,500 kilobits per second. That's my bitrate over on Kick. I don't know why you asked, but that's what I'm broadcasting. So, okay.
See, that would have been a question that DSP just should have ignored, but I think he decided to answer it, like completely derail his stream for 10 seconds while he squinted across the room to check his preview monitor. It was because it gives him like the ability to kind of like pretend to be more technical than he is. I think that's why we answered that question.
For Street Fighter 6, and it's either going to be M. Bison or Blanco returning. I haven't made my decision yet, but I will let you know, tomorrow, basically, what I've decided. Either one I think is fine, because I'm going to play with both of them regardless, getting this back into the rotation, so.
Oh boy, more Street Fighter 6.
For H265. Am I broadcasting at H265? I don't think that Kick allows that. See, I am broadcasting. No, I'm at H264. Because remember, Kick has big limitations of what they allow. So I'm broadcasting at H264, 8500 kilobits to get the 1080p 60 frames that I'm getting on Kick.
He would be using H264.
It has these big limitations on quality and codecs and things you can use. Don't know why. Like I said, YouTube's like unlimited. You can do whatever you want. So I'm doing like the highest grade stuff on YouTube. Okay, Saturday, I'm off. No stream on Saturday, okay? That's my day to run errands and a whole bunch of stuff going. And then Sunday...
Does Kick allow H265? I can't imagine that they wouldn't.
Questionable, all right? Definitely this coming week, I'm going to continue on with my playthroughs of Indiana Jones.
So we're back to talking about Indiana Jones, but I just wanted to point out the fact that the DSP has a mod in his Kick chat called One Dumb Tractor Real is very funny to me. For like what I think are obvious reasons, right? Because like DSP should know especially by now, that the whole like appending real to the end of your username is very much a troll meme. And like obviously Tractor, like he's banned people that have had the word tractor in their name, because like, you know, it's a flag word for detractor. So like, you know, the face, like I think the very obvious reading of this name is that this person is a dumb detractor, and they're a mod in DSP's chat.
And Stalker 2. If we can get the mods working for Dark Souls 1, that will also be a playthrough that I want to do. So basically I'll be juggling those kind of 3 playthroughs during the daytime streams.
More schedule talk.
Streams, however, this week are going to be all over the place. So I just want to forewarn everyone, for those who like the night streams, you're like, oh, the chill content of the night streams, or the multiplayer of the night streams. This week particularly, things are going to be thrown for a loop. Year-end series are going to be this week. And typically I stream them at night. Okay.
I'm gonna blow my nose, but also I'm really fucking bored, so we're just gonna give this a little juice.
Okay. So here's the deal regarding my year-end series for 2024. Okay, I've done some work. I know exactly how it's gonna go this year, and there are some changes. Okay. First off, it will be live streamed. We did dabble with the idea yesterday that I would do an edited video. I think maybe eventually that's the route I will go, because now I'm learning DaVinci Resolve and actually enjoying doing it, and I'd like to maybe come back into using it for stuff like that. But
And now we're getting one of these weird, like, I love editing so much, you guys, segments when, like, he's habitually complained about how editing is difficult and the juice is not worth the squeeze. In fact, I know we're talking about the year-end segment again, but like literally yesterday, he was talking about why he wasn't going to shoot and edit the video offline because it wasn't going to give him enough money.
It's going to be the top 20 most disappointing playthroughs and the top 20 best playthroughs of the year.
I feel like it'd be really hard to choose what's the worst playthrough that DSP has done in any one year, because there's so many reasons why his playthroughs are bad, and they can all be bad. Those reasons, like they're not for those reasons like simultaneously. So you kind of have to determine like why. Like what reason for his playthrough being bad is the worst makes it worse than the other reasons.
In a year when there were just far too many incredibly lengthy RPGs hitting at once, there was no way that I could enjoy them all, and you guys lost interest. That should be talked about. That should be brought up.
We're still talking about RPG overload.
A game is good or bad doesn't necessarily mean it amounted to a good or bad playthrough. You see what I'm saying? On the flip side of that, there were some games that I played in 2024 that I never expected would have been good and blew me away with the quality of the game and the playthrough that I did. And all right? So, here's the deal. It ain't going to just be, oh, here's the top 10 games that I think are the best of the year. That's not what we're doing. First of all,
this guy is so lame. I'm going to have to skip a little bit. I can't listen to this.
On the flip side of that, with the disappointing playthroughs of the year.
Sarah Barclay with another LARPer comment.
But for some odd reason, the playthroughs just weren't resonating with the audience. I don't know why, because I was really enjoying the games and having a great time with them, but the audience wasn't. Okay?
All right, so I haven't mentioned this before, but here we have another DSP mod, Kick Chat mod, with a very interesting style name. Like, And I suspect that, or sorry, is that a mod? No, I'm dented. That's probably a gift badge. Was the last guy? Was the last guy a mod or just a gifter? Oh, he was just a gifter too. My mistake. I'm used to seeing the green from Twitch and being like, the green sword on Twitch and be like, oh, that's a mod.
Do it every year like this. Know what I mean? Like, if we keep having underwhelming years of game releases that are just not that good, AAA companies that are floundering and
also, like, I'm just really kind of out of it. So, I'm not normally this dented, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Failing and releasing half-finished, broken, half-cocked, rehashed games that no one really cares about, it's going to be hard to have a game of the year countdown. So, I think this is the way to do it. So like I said, there's going to be 20 of the best playthroughs and 20 of the most disappointing playthroughs of the year. That's going to be my 2 countdowns, all right? Now, the way I'm planning to do it is live streaming it and basically counting down 20 to 1, and then each time that I bring up a game, showing you some footage of the game in the background while I'm here superimposed over it like this, talking and telling you why I felt that was either one of the best playthroughs or most disappointing playthroughs that I did of the year. I think that's the best way to go about it. And therefore, everyone will get the idea of what I'm trying to relay.
And now DSP's explaining to you how he plans on making the content.
And this is very much true.
Excellent segment, DSP. So he does this all the time. I think he's done it literally every day since I started like re-streaming DSP, where he tries to switch from like this scene, and he ends up with the mountain in his background. Just gonna try to find it real quick, and quickly.
The other thing is, and this is very much true.
Here, yeah. So he does that. Like, this has happened literally every day for the past 3 days, and probably more than that. But he tried, like he there's something wrong with him. And if you were charitable, you would say it's his hotkeys, but like it's probably DSP just forgetting what buttons he needs to press. But he does this, and it's so dented. Like if you need to like put more physical space between the buttons on your Steam Deck that do these things, then like just do it. But like, it's not that hard to set hotkeys in OBS, so surely this is something that he could do. But like I think one of the problems is that whenever this happens, like DSP either just like doesn't comment on it, or when it does, or when he does comment on it, it's like oh, I'm in the mountains, isn't this silly? And then he moves on with his day, and he doesn't get that this makes him look like an idiot.
Because it's live stream, people have the opportunity to react.
We had a sneaky burp.
They announced that this game was one of my best playthroughs of the year, and then people might chime in and say, yeah, I agree or disagree, here's why I really liked it or didn't like it. Or same thing, vice versa. I might say this is one of my most disappointing playthroughs of the year, and people can give their opinions on the game, on how I covered it and what happened.
Now we're engagement farm. It sounds like we're getting commentary on why DSP is planning on making the content the way he's planning on making it in order to engage or to farm engagement.
So I'm shocked that Rebirth just tanked, and people said we're bored, don't play it. Like literally that stream, I was sitting here, I still remember, I was sitting right here, and I'm playing the game, and I'm enjoying.
And ends of wins. You gotta keep an eye out for this fella, because they make some interesting comments in the kick chat. I would have 0 pennies if DSP wasn't confused. That's very funny. Keep it up.
Enjoying myself content, right? And I turn back to the chat, and keep in mind I wasn't co-streaming at the time, and I turn to the chat, and the chat is literally sitting there talking about college basketball, and I said to everyone, what are you doing? Like, this is a game stream. You're supposed to be hanging out with me. We're supposed to be having a social time. Literally, the chat is just sitting there talking about college basketball. And when I asked what was going on, the response was very simple. The game is boring.
Okay, so we're getting another like engagement talk from Phil, but like there's lots of people. Okay, I have to sneeze. Okay, I told myself I was gonna let the video play when I had to mute my microphone, so that I didn't have to spend time like cutting out the dead air, the results, and I just utterly failed at doing that. So I guess I'm gonna be editing this video. But anyways, so DSP, like other streamers, like do not police the topics of conversations in their chat as to anywhere near the extent that DSP does, and like. Obviously, he does this because he's a narcissist. Like, you need to be talking about him and to him because he is the most important boy in the world, right? But any other streamer, like, they don't particularly care what you're talking about in their chat, as long as you're like, you know, not violating the terms of service, or, you know, you're not doing anything like bad, right? As long as the topics are like, you know, polite, like it's okay. So like any other streamer, especially like DSP's size, like currently he has, you know, fewer than 300 viewers. Like I feel like any streamer that had a couple hundred viewers, if their chat was full of people talking about basketball, rather than being like, hey, why aren't you talking to me about me or about the game? And like, instead of like stopping what they're doing and confronting their chat, like they would try to engage in that conversation with their chat as well, because that's part of like having the whole like building community thing. And DSP just like, he can't grasp that because of reasons previously described.
It's too slow paced. You know, if you were just doing streamlined story, it would be better. But all this content that you're doing is boring, and you know, we're just not entertained. We're not engaged. We don't want to talk about the game. We don't care about the game. If you stopped playing it right now and did anything else, we'd be more entertained. And I was like, wow. And that's the response I got for a game that I thought was going to be one of the biggest ones. So it is what it is. And that, you know, that's what I mean. That's definitely, you know, that's going to be one of my most disappointing playthroughs. To this day, I still don't understand why fully it didn't work. You know, but then again, I maybe that'll be one of the opportunities we have to come to that realization. Okay. So anyway, I finished narrowing down the 20 games or the 20 playthroughs, I should say, for each
DLC sound system, thin ice.
Of the disappointing one. Now I have to number and rank the best playthroughs, and then I have to get the video footage for those, and then I have to pour all of that into OBS, and then I'll be good to go. So there's still some work to do. Probably another, you know, night to 2 nights of work to do to set it up and get it all working. So I'm not ready yet. But I may have opportunity to get this ready for you within the next day or two. And if I do, then we could do it as early as Sunday night. We could begin this. Okay.
Okay. So we're having another one of those. I'm planning to do this, but don't know when it'll happen segments.
It's probably going to take entire night streams to do it. Okay. And that's what I mean. Like this week, sadly.
Sarah Barclay at DSP Gaming. I fear no RPGs will ever work on your channel again. It will just be action games, fighting games, and simulators played on this channel. Yeah, I mean, Sarah Barclay basically said the same thing yesterday. DSP ignored it. I see no reason why DSP will address this comment.
You know, normally I would say, oh, there's going to be a chill stream of Flight Sim, then we're going to do Call of Duty, then there's going to be some Street Fighter. This week, the night streams are all going to be basically kind of spoken for until later in the week. And then if we do that marathon, it's another day where we're not doing a night stream. So this week, we might have to forego quite a lot of the late night content that we've been doing because of this special stuff. And then
a DSP is not going to respond to this reverse 750 fellow as well. Shouldn't games be based on if you like them or not, and not if we like them, including the ones you wanted to finish but had to pass? Not gonna say anything about that. And we're talking again about the wrestling show that we're gonna do with a PPP. I call him Triple P.
About the show, and we're gonna do basically a late night stream talking all about Raw and wrestling and all of that. For me, it's gonna be wild. I have not watched pro wrestling since 2020. The last match of wrestling that I watched was Drew McIntyre beating Brock Lesnar for the title at the WrestleMania during COVID, where they were in the Thunderdome or whatever they called it, and there was no crowd. That's the last wrestling match I've actually seen. So now we'll be jumping into this like 4 to 5 years later.
I don't want to. I don't need another history lesson.
It'll work out. You know, we don't know. We actually have no clue what's going to happen. Will people show up?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous if the wrestling show is going to be successful, you guys. So like, make sure that you show up and support and give me money so that I don't have to be nervous.
More details coming on where that will be broadcast, the time that will be broadcast, if there'll be clips.
This guy has no fucking clue.
We don't have it nailed down yet. We're going to work on it the next couple nights. Once we have all the details, I will let you know, and full speed ahead on that.
All right, so I'm not really like a on the fly kind of clip style guy here, but I feel like there's I want to look at that clip that Triple P mentioned the other day. So I'm gonna pause the recording and see if I can find it. Okay, so I think the clip was on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I couldn't find it. So I just had to pull up the time that ALT brought it up on his stream. So big ups to ALT, WPIG 1651. This guy fucking grinds out DSP content, and he's quite good at what he does. So if you're listening to this, there's no chance in hell that you haven't heard of ALT Insider, but in the weird, but still big ups to ALT. So this is the clip.
Ultra wide. So we've talked about watching wrestling with Phil.
Yep.
Phil no longer watches wrestling, but he's willing to watch wrestling for the podcast. Unfortunately, Phil doesn't know how to Google how to watch wrestling. So I've had to explain to Phil how to watch wrestling on like Peacock and Hulu and shit. But it's still hard. Like, it's a battle to hold his hand through the process. of subscribing to Peacock and Hulu. So who knows if the fucking wrestling podcast will ever actually happen? But like, I'm trying.
Not done yet.
The fuck are you?
Well, boy, do you really think Phil's gonna use the Watch Wrestling site? Like, come on. Like, that's one step too far for Phil.
Yes. Correct.
All right, here we go. You ready?
You have to meet Phil on his own terms. All right.
Guys, I mean, why is it? It's like so much wider.
Yeah, I may have to go to Phil's house and set up the wrestling for him. Like, I may actually have to do that. But then the problem is, like, when it's time to turn it on, I would then also have to travel to Renton to turn on his TV and switch it to the correct, channel.
Hang on, one sec. I'm gonna change my to make it easier for you all to see. I'm gonna just make it like this because it's a bit too fucking wide. Let's do it like this. Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay, that's it. But then.
So big ups ALT again for having the robust and meaningful content. But you can just hear the exasperation in PPP. I call him Triple P's voice. Like he is just outright saying that this guy is so incapable of doing anything on his own that he like he's really feeling the exasperation. And it's so funny to me because the odds that this guy is aware that Triple P said that is like probably zero, but like he's just outright saying how useless he is and how much of a pain in the ass it is to work with Phil. And Phil just is so blissful about, oh, Kino loves me and we're best buds and all that bullshit. So so DSP, this is like the third or fourth time day in a row that DSP has talked about how he's working on this collab with Triple P and how it's going to be really cool when it all falls into place. And Triple P is over here being like, I don't know if it's going to happen because this guy is such a useless idiot.
All right, what an awesome new project for the new year, right?
An awesome new project for the new year.
That's what I mean. If we have the year-end series and they end up being Sunday night, Monday night, and then I have this new wrestling commentary show Tuesday night, I very well may only have like another couple days left in the week. And if we have the marathon.
So we're still talking about schedule for those of you keeping track at home.
There's no new games coming out right now of any level of interest. If there were, I'd probably be in a lot of trouble. But it's an incredibly slow January this year. There's almost nothing coming out, nothing going on in the realm of gaming. So because of that, it's just not a big deal that I'm busy with all of this stuff. Okay. No, Trills, this is purely a modern wrestling commentary show. The first episode is essentially going to cover Monday Night Raw, the premiere episode on Netflix that's on Monday night. So we're going to talk about it probably Tuesday night. And of course, going back and forth talking about modern wrestling and stuff that I've got to get caught up on. That's basically what the first show will be. And then after that, we're going to be covering not only Monday Night Raw, but possibly any big pay-per-view events and stuff going up. But we'll talk about that on the show, obviously.
Yeah, obviously we're going to keep talking about it.
I haven't done a lick of wrestling commentary since mid-2014.
Okay, I don't need a history lesson.
You're surprised the show is happening? Why are you surprised?
Again, because this guy has so little going on in his life. He just lives in the past.
Sting taking off a Sting mask to reveal Sting underneath. Right now, as people are asking all these questions, right now we have absolutely no idea 100% what we're doing yet. The future shows.
This is like the fifth time he said this in the past 5 minutes.
Will we ever cover other stuff? I haven't. And SmackDown and NXT. In my opinion, keep in mind I used to watch it a lot. I mean, I did a show. We're not talking to do SmackDown this week. It's just going to be about. No, this has nothing to do with WWE champions. I have no plans on bringing back WWE champions. We had dabbled with that and talked about it, and as you saw, okay, it was obsessed, crazy, unhinged losers.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like we're finally out of the WWE contact.
WWE Champions is a game, a mobile game that I played in my own spare time. I never publicly talked about it. It never should have crossed over to the public eye whatsoever. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did publicly talk about it. Did he not? That's how. No, he had to have, because that's how detractors found out, right? Like no one's gonna be like cross-checking like accounts on random gotcha game mobile gotcha games to see if they line up with DSP unless he like outright mentioned that he does that. And like he has a history of like self-admitted history of playing like mobile gotcha games. So like that just can't be true.
Micromanage, or I should say find the data of things that I'm involved in that have nothing to do with anyone and try to bring all of my private stuff public And WWE Champions is the dumbest thing possible in all of that. Mobile game habits and spending and shit it's no one's business. No one truly knows anything about how much I've ever spent, how much time I've spent. It's all.
Okay, so this is we're retconning so hard right now, and for those of us in the detractor sphere that like lived through the side scrollers arc and the Kino Casino arc, like we know that DSP like committed bankruptcy fraud and lied about his WWE champion spending and claimed it as a business expense. And we also know that he flat out lied to the side scrollers about spending how much money he spent on WWE champions. And they like tried so hard and like, I don't watch the side scrollers, but that's the funny thing about the guy is that anytime he's pitted up against anybody, you're just automatically inclined to take the side of the other person because like what a piece of shit DSP is. So I'm not saying I'm fans of the side scrollers, and I have to sneeze. Okay, I'm back. But so those of us that have lived through the side scroller arc and the Kino Casino arc, we understand that a huge portion of the side scrollers interview was Adam and Craig trying to show DSP, like trying to get DSP to understand that this is like your spending habits are the business of the public when you publicly beg to the degree to which you do, right? And so now that arc is, and DSP obviously, I think he admitted that he understood it in the interview because DSP is a pushover with like no principles. Like he admitted that he understood it then, but then after he felt like he got burned on the, after the fact, he felt like he got burned on the side scrollers interview. Like, and then Kino Casino came along and they were like, yeah, Phil, it's no one's business what you do with your money. Like if they give it to you, that's your money. And like, here's the part. So DSP thinks it's okay now because when he begs, he doesn't beg, I got 2 big bills and I got to pay my groceries and I got a house payment. He doesn't say those are the reasons why he needs money. He just says, you need to give me money. And so like that was, so the amount of begging hasn't gone down, but that was a big part of the problem is that like it's dishonest. It's wrong to beg people to say, I don't have enough money to pay my power bill this week, right? When you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on WWE champions, right? Like you have all this money and you wouldn't be in the position of needing to beg people to pay your mortgage, to pay your internet bill, the electric bill. If you didn't have all this unnecessary spending, right? Like that's like if you were to go out and, I don't know, go buy a PlayStation 5 Pro when you know that you have rent due like later that week, and if you buy the PlayStation 5 Pro, you're not gonna have enough money to pay your rent, right? And then you go to your friends and say, hey, can someone give me like $600 or $800 because I don't have enough money to pay my rent, right? And they're like, someone's like, yeah, sure, like I'll spot you, bro, we're friends. And then they come over to your house like in a week and they're like, hey, is that new, that PS5 Pro? And you're like, oh yeah, I bought it 2 weeks ago. And you're like, oh, so you bought it right before you had to come ask me for a loan because you didn't have enough money to pay your rent? And the guy and your friend's just like, yeah, and like doesn't see the problem with that. That's DSP, right? So now he thinks that because Kino Casino have approved the excuse, they've reinforced the idea that it's my money, I can spend it how I want. Like because they said it and not DSP, he's like latched onto that, and it's a really useful tool for him. And also he's eliminated saying why he needs money, and just that he doesn't have enough, you need to give him more. And he thinks that because he's like put this thin veil of separation between him begging and why he begs so much, he thinks that makes it all okay. And so like now you're getting this big retcon segment of like, it's never been anybody's business for WWE champions, and get fucked.
All bullshit. It's all nonsense, half truth, over exaggerations. No one will ever know the truth. It's no one's business. How I spend my money and my time.
You told us the truth. You're down from the rafters.
It never was. But these people are nuts. So for years, they forged their giant conspiracy theories, their humongous, stupid narratives that were always untrue or based on half-truth. and they turned it into a reason to hate DSP because DSP is a horribly addicted, terribly, awfully behaving person.
Yes, that's true.
Because every dollar that you give him on a stream, he spends on a mobile game.
Yes, that's true.
Never. Now, did I play mobile games? Yes. WWE Champions and other ones. Did I spend on mobile games? Yes. Did it bankrupt me? No. Not at all. Trust me, the massive amounts of overspending that I did when I moved out here and I furnished this house 10 years ago, and then the fact that I juggled credit cards onto other credit cards and onto balance transfers and shit like that.
This is all bullshit.
Because of troll activities like false copyright strikes and the like. That's what got me into bankruptcy.
No.
But that's the narrative they want to create because they like to give a dramatic story.
So I don't have like the receipts in front of me, so I'm not going to bother trying to find them. But like this is such a huge retcon. All you would need to do is watch the side scrollers interview and like literally any of the TBS content with TJ Gamebox, because TJ Gamebox is the guy that tracks all of DSP's like in-game spending for WWE champions. And TJ Gamebox, as a person who plays WWE champions, is very familiar with the game, like has like a very reasonable formula for estimating how much money DSP spends on the game. And for the longest time, DSP, like he would dispute the whole WWE champions thing, but he would never dispute the amount of money that we claim that he was spending, right? Because well, I don't think he did. That could be untrue, but he focused on, well, down from the rafters is not me. You can't prove that it's me. It's not me. And didn't address like the amount. And so then when he admitted that he was down from the rafters, well, now it's about disputing the amount of money that he's paid. Right. And he thinks, and because he's a narcissist, that is, since he has never actually told anyone how much money he spent, like down to the dollar on the mobile game, that all of, everything that we as detractors claim about what he spent are just that, like, baseless claims. And it's like, well, yeah, we're making a claim, but they are in no way baseless. Like we have plenty of evidence to back up these claims. And your claim is I don't spend that much money, and you have no evidence to back up that claim. And I think one of the biggest tells here is, well, there's the bankruptcy like thing with all your records being public, but two, it's like, okay, well, we can see how much money is going in just from like, the on-stream contributions. We have no idea how much he's making, like behind the scenes, so to speak. And then we can estimate like his expenses. We can estimate his expenses as like a, just based on like where he lives and how much his house sold for and blah, 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 blah. And there is a huge discrepancy in the amount of money that he earns and the amount of money that he should be spending, even post bankruptcy, when all that debt was, all of his debt, which here he's claiming that, the debt was the problem. And that's why he had to beg so hard for years. He still begged after he got the bankruptcy. So this is just on the face of it, completely bullshit. Even if you have if you don't understand the context around the WWE champions thing, just know that he begged hardcore before he filed for bankruptcy. And after he got the bankruptcy approved, he still had to beg because he wasn't spending his money wisely.
So that they have something to talk about and get clickbait views. So the reason that WWE champions was a thing is because, for me, I wanted to show people it didn't actually matter. Any of the bullshit that these people had so hyper-focused on over all these years that it never mattered. And so by me playing WWE Champions publicly, by me showing you how to play the game and all the knowledge I had of it, by spending on it right in front of the eyes of thousands of people, I showed people that none of it made any difference and it had no power over me whatsoever. And people not only liked it, they gave me money to spend on it. You understand that?
See, this is wild too. Like it's really obvious if you watch the WWE Champion streams that he did, like how he's got the addict mentality, right? Like he gets so excited when he's spending money on and making pulls, right? Like it's classic like gambler addiction. I'm not going to bother. Like I'm not like cool and talented enough to just like pull up some clips of him doing that. But believe you me, like he's got the gambling fever.
Spend on that stream playing said mobile game. No one with a brain in their head that functioned rationally cared about WWE champions. It's only the drama hound people who are absolutely screaming for internet drama. Oh, we want to see the downfall of someone on the internet, and we wish them pain and suffering so we can feel better about ourselves because we're miserable fucking wretches whose lives are meaningless, who have no positivity, no meaningful relationships, nothing of worth or value, and we're so upset about that, we want to see Phil fail. So let's make everything in his life about mobile games, even though, to me, it's one tiny little compartmentalized part of my life. Literally sitting here playing a mobile game on my phone while I'm doing...
It's a huge part of your life, dude. It's also really funny, like... So this is again like the classic DSP. I mentioned previously, like the other day, how like DSP can like never changes, and it's because he can't change. Like he probably needs like actual legitimate like psychological help in order to make progress right in that department. But like this is like he just got done talking about like how big like pieces of shit all of his trolls are, and but remember, he doesn't care about them, and we're not as successful as he is. Also, he's a positive individual moving forward positively in 2025.
You want to know when I play WWE Champions? When I'm relaxing at night after a day of work. I'm sitting on the couch with my wife and we got some.
You play WWE Champions literally on stream. We caught you during the daily wrap.
We're listening to some music, right? Or having a drink at night. You pop it open, you play it for a little bit. That's WWE Champions. It's not some ultra serious major part of my life where I'm sitting there investing 10 hours a day playing it, dropping thousands of dollars. These people are fucking nuts.
He's also in the event that any like less people who aren't like super involved in the detractor sphere get this far. He's also admitted in the past to playing. I'm not sure if it was WWE Champions or Supercard, which is another WWE like mobile gacha game. But he admitted to spending like it was like 40 hours playing it in a week, and that was when he had a full-time day job because there was like some event going on. And so he's done that in the past. He's perfectly capable of spending that much time and money on WWE Champions, and like I don't expect this guy to have any real understanding of how much time he spends on the game because he's an idiot. So like it probably doesn't register in his brain of like, oh yeah, well I opened the app 50 times today, like because he went to take a shit and so he opened the app and he played it for a minute or two while he was doing that, or like when he woke up in the morning and opened the app and played for a couple of games before he got out of bed, like those sort of things like just would not register to him because he's so addicted to the game.
Get it? They made it all up. They over-exaggerated. To this day, they still...
We made it all up, you guys.
Fabricated nonsense. It has nothing to do with reality. Okay? And the best part about it all is, even if it were all true, which it's not, even if everything they said was true, people...
Okay, and so we're doing the classic narcissist thing again of, I didn't do that / it's not true. And even if I did do that, it's not that bad.
Still don't care. And that's what me playing WWE Champions proved, that their broken fucking narrative was completely invalid. It completely freed me from their bullshit narrative. And people stopped hating me because I exposed the bullshit. Get it? That's what Champions was about. So after we played WWE Champions for a couple of months, it wore off. There was no more gimmick. No one cared about it anymore. No one is hating on DSP for playing WWE.
So there was just a comment in this username goring_babies. You lied about not playing WWE Champions. Why should we believe you about not spending thousands on it? Yeah. Excellent question.
It wore off. There was no more gimmick. No one cared about it anymore. No one is hating on DSP for playing WWE Champions anymore. Nobody gives a shit that I ever played it. So it's a dead topic. You notice no one brings it up anymore. No one comes into the chat. No one's making jokes about down from the rap.
Well, and it's kind of a little bit of a dead topic because like we as like the troll community have been completely vindicated on that front, right? Over the side scrollers arc and the Kino Casino arc, and then you streaming WWE Champions, like we as the troll community, like we were already convinced, like we were already fairly confident about how much money you spent in the game. And the part that was like, and the part that I would say it was unclear that, or it wasn't certain that you were the account holder for Down from the Rafters, but actually that was clear, right? Like, cause we got the line, because the whole line app thing, we were able to prove that because you registered that account using your phone number with the line app, that it did belong to you. And then you just pretended you didn't know what the line app was or how it worked. So like, insofar as all that's concerned, like we already knew all that stuff. It's just you weren't willing to admit it, and then you did admit it, and I guess that we were just kind of like ready to move on because they're like that was like the last piece of the puzzle. Is we had overwhelming amount of evidence, at which again like Craig confronted you with on the side scrollers, and then and you still just lied through your teeth then. And I think he eventually just had to drop it because he recognized during the interview that, okay, I've confronted this guy with like an airtight evidence that proves that he is the account holder, like he owns this account on WWE Champions, and he's just gonna fucking lie through his teeth, to me about it. So there's no point in continuing this line of inquiry. I'm just gonna move on, right? Like that's what happened. And then when at the end of the day, you ended up just coming out like outright saying that, yeah, it's me, and you should like. And so it's like, that was the last piece. That's the last thing we wanted, was to be like, okay, thank you. Thank you for finally admitting it. Would it be nice if DSP actually it would admit how much he spent to date? Yeah, that would be fine. But like the same thing would happen is we already have a pretty good idea of how much money he spent. And DSP really doesn't know how much money he spent. Like I guarantee it. Like as a gambling addict, he has no register of how much money he's actually spent. He knows that it's a lot, and he knows it's a lot more than he should have, but like lifetime, he has no clue. And he's not going to go through all his bank statements and add it all up, right? Like the bank account leaks that happened, that very much vindicates all, it's another piece of evidence that supports this whole line of thinking. Like it's true. And DSP is trying to convince you that it's, even still to this day, is trying to convince you that it's not. Again, doing the classic narcissist thing.
No one cares. No one ever should have. That's the truth. No one ever should have cared about it. It never was anything of significance. The one big dramatic gotcha that they had on me was a nothing burger and never was anything. So we're done. That's all in the past. I don't see a single reason why anyone would care about WWE champions in the future. I don't think so. I don't think anyone give a shit.
One of the wild things about the WWE champion streams was
that's true. The Hogan polls were hype. Absolutely.
It was actually like you could tell that he actually enjoyed it when he was doing it. Like that's one of the few gameplays streams that DSP has had where he legitimately enjoyed what he was doing. Like you could feel the energy watching the stream because he would normally he over explains everything in his streams because the dude has, he's padding for content. But like in the WWE streams, like you could feel the legitimate excitement in his voice when he was like talking about some of that stuff. And obviously like the whole, the dopamine hits he was getting from actually buying the polls, like it was really obvious. And I feel like, for most gaming creators, like that's kind of the energy they bring to their content, like overall in general, because they genuinely love games. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's really plain to see that this smug asshole, like it doesn't actually like gaming all that much. He probably thinks he likes gaming because it's something that you don't need friends in order to do. And if you spend money on buying a gaming system, you can be a gamer, right?
That take place behind the scenes of mobile games that are not allowed, but literally happen every single day. Like I told the story, but I'll say it one more time. The reason I knew that you could sell an account in WWE Champions, even though it was against the rules, was that there was a high-ranking prominent player, like one of the leaders.
He absolutely did not sell his account.
The entire game he was retiring, but then all of a sudden his
account, I checked it recently. That account still has not missed a login for years. It's wild how much time this guy has spent on WWE Champions. Not just the money, but just the time.
But I get the feeling that the buying and selling of accounts, the farming of an account, it's probably big business for people.
Are we in Q&A? Did I miss the transition to Q&A? Are we out of stuff to talk about? It feels like we're in Q&A. And if we're in Q&A, that really makes me sad because all up until this point, right? So the podcast, started about 20 till. So for the whole first hour, approximately, all we've been talking about is the schedule, right? We got a schedule segment, and then we got a history lesson that was related to the schedule segment, and then we got another schedule segment. That's all this guy has talked about for an hour. And now we're in the Q&A because the content is about the content, and now he has nothing to talk about.
So I think we're done here. We talked about all of that. So all this good stuff's coming out. Year-end series right around the corner. I'm excited for that.
And now we're reiterating the schedule because we have nothing to say.
About that. But we'll get stuff going soon, and then after that, smooth sailing. to new content for the rest of the year. Now, guys, I do have to say this.
Now, guys, begging segment.
Into the show, we've got 0 contributions.
0 contributions. Let's get some subs. Let's get some tips.
Let's get some stuff going, please. Let's get some support of some sort. It doesn't matter where you're watching from. Tribute. All right, please, let's get our first contributions up on the leaderboard.
Yeah, and Kick Chat is posting the triple P in the Kick Chat.
Okay. All right, well, so what I want to do, we've been talking about this for days, okay? So I think the first thing I have to do, we got to go to Steam and I have to get Dark Souls Remastered, right? I think that's the version of the game that we're going to be playing.
Are we getting another technical support stream? This is different. This is software support, not hardware support.
There it is. I can't believe it's still $40. That's pretty crazy. You know, the only reason I'm spending the 40 is because, you know, I want to start playing it soon. I don't want to wait. So pretty crazy that I got to drop the $40 to get this. It's such an old.
Are we gonna turn the $40 Steam price tag for Dark Souls Remastered into like a beg segment? Because it feels like that's what's happening.
Old game, and you're spending $40 is pretty ridiculous, right? When did this come out? 2018. So it's about 7, 8 years old. Well, 7 years old. Yeah. All right, I guess we're gonna do it. So
I mean, I guess I'll spend the money if I have to, guys. It's only my job. Okay, so he just did again. We were in the mountains again.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get it. Hold on.
He did it. This is at least the second time today that he's done this. Dude needs to sort his shit out. Professional streamer over here.
We're not playing the OG version. We're playing the remastered and all the mods on remastered. So, okay. Yeah, let me buy it and install it. I'm not going to show you guys my payment stuff. Go. Content. Okay. So, installing. Once it's done, install. You see what just happened? Take a look at the leaderboard. What happened?
I was gonna say, if he was gonna bitch about how long this took to download, like this is something he could have done yesterday instead of doing it on stream, and now we have to wait for it to download before we can install the mods and launch the game. This is just, it's a great, it's a perfect, it's so indicative. It's a perfect example of like how dog shit of a content creator this guy is, because anyone that legitimately cares about their audience, like they're gonna do like this, 0 effort prep work ahead of time, right? And so now we're I fucking the chat looking for contributions, waiting for this thing to download. And now we downloaded it and we're checking our phone. Probably doing some polls.
So it's the remastered mod is the one that we want to do. Remastered. Okay, this is the one that's supposed to be like the best graphical mod for the game. So it is Dark Souls.
I'm not sure I want to.
So we have to remember this is super important. Don't play it online when I put the mods in, or else I'm gonna get banned. All right, gotta be careful about that. Okay. Mine is not in C program files. Mine is in D.
I really don't want to sit through a hand holding segment with DSP.
Setting in the game? Is that a setting in my? Okay.
So the guy is most of the time insufferable, but I don't think I want to like sit through him trying to download and install mods. So we're just gonna look into the future real quick here. So it looks like he has successfully downloaded something, or is at least attempting to download something. Okay, this is one of those like DSP thinks he's so funny segments.
It would have cost me $9 to download this at a normal rate, but that's too expensive. You talked me out of it.
I can't wait for DSP to start blaming Mod Nexus for this. And okay, that's the third time we've been to the mountains today.
So I'm going to pay for the premium membership right now.
And so again, this guy gives so little shits about his audience's time and is so poor. Like, I don't know if it's just lack of planning, lack of foresight. That he had it on his phone, right? That's what he was doing, was he was looking on his phone to figure out what mod he wanted to download. He knew what mod he wanted to download. And instead of just doing it, taking literally 3 minutes to start the download after he finished his daily rap or like during one of his breaks or whatever, and just like had it already done. I'm going to do that on stream so I can get paid for it and pad out my pre-stream podcast, right? And so now, because he's a lazy, stupid piece of shit, it's not going to download in time for him to like have it loaded up before it's time to start the gaming portion of today's stream. So now he's going to pay $10 to get the accelerated download rate. Like that's DSP. That's the guy. It's him. I'm watching his YouTube.
Just got to figure out how. It's $9, so I'm going to get it right now, just like I said I was going to get it yesterday. Okay.
So he was literally there yesterday and just chose not to download it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay.
Okay, this sucks. We're probably still... We still haven't figured it out.
Premium speeds. Since I'm not going to wait 400 years, this is the stupidest fucking suggestion anyone ever made, was to actually slow boat that shit. Wow.
And so now he's blaming the audience for telling him that he didn't need to pay for the Nexus Mod Premium to get the higher download speeds. Yes, that's true. If you again, it's just the smallest amount of planning, and you could have saved yourself $9. But this guy does not give a shit because he doesn't work for the money. Because he knows that any dollar he spends on stream is $2 he can beg from his audience. Like, it's insane. It's insane how this guy acts.
Good idea, doesn't it? That's like a genius level fucking idea right there. Anyway, so hold on, find it now. Files.
Okay, dead air.
2 minutes left, folks.
He's such an idiot.
Rare Tricks just gifted a sub over on Kick. Thank you, Rare Tricks. And then there's a couple other things to shout out, and I'll do that while we download.
And
what is this glitch?
There's gonna be people. Like, oh, Phil, I decided to donate 2 subs, so that'll offset the $9 you had to spend because you're an idiot who can't do any planning.
Starting to upset me now. There, it's a weird glitch where I'm double clicking, and the stupid thing is like carrying over something in OBS. I think it's a problem. So thank you, Rare Tricks, for the first gifted sub of the day over on Kick. Also, the round table hold did a $2 super chat says, what compression ratio are you using on your mic? I have no idea what that means. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so the compression ratio on the mic is like that when you're in OBS and you're adding a mic source, like that is like one of or it's either the source or the filter. That's like one of the first things. And if you're anyway like familiar with how like the audio, okay, I have to sneeze again. Yeah, so that's like a compressor setting, right? Like, and if you do any like research on like trying to set up, filters, compressors, whatever, to like help get your mic to sound better, like that's a thing that you're just gonna run into. And that like the fact that this guy had just spent 2 days fucking with his microphone and has no like, it's not that he doesn't, not only does he not know the answer to the question, but he doesn't even know that he should know that is a thing that exists, right? It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, it's in my settings, I don't remember what it is offhand. Just to be like, I don't know what that is. Thanks for the money, dummy. Like that's the dude is such an animal.
I don't know about a ratio. Am I using a compressor on the mic? I think so. I think it's the proprietary software that came with
yeah, and now the chat's asking about a compressor because that's where that value is relevant.
My leaderboard refuses to center, and I don't know why. Because I'm telling it to center, and it won't do it now. I don't know why it won't automatically do it, and it's pissing me off.
Like he's just so pissing me the fuck off. He's just so dumb. He's so dumb.
Okay, that one finished, by the way. So now we can get what happened? Gotta get the other one. Gotta get the second file.
Oh, we need to download more files.
It'll be done in 34 seconds. There we go.
Thank God.
Okay.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad I came back when I saw. I have to fucking sneeze again. Pissing me the fuck off. This. I had something to say. I can't even remember what it was. Let's just keep going.
A generous contribution, a $20 tip. How much support would be needed for you to stream Metaphor for 2 streams? Oh, the burp coming. I mean, it's not really how it works, but I know what you're saying. Like, you want me to play Metaphor, right? Right now, sadly, Metaphor wouldn't even my schedule, even if it did get support. I can't start a lengthy RPG right now. But, I mean, ideally, I would want to be hitting the goal, right? If I could.
Cashier segment.
Like, see, dude, guys, I don't know what's going on. How do I get this to auto snap to the center? It won't work now.
Guys, help me learn how to use OBS, the program I've been using to stream for 16 years. Please and thank you.
I don't know.
So he did that little lean. I skipped. Yeah, this. It's because he's staring at that fucking preview monitor on the other side of the goddamn room. Like, he's an animal. He's the guy is an animal.
No, I mean, not that I have to hit the goals every single stream. That's not the idea. It's not a streak, but at the same time, that's the goal. The idea was, if I'm going to play Metaphor, people are going to show up, engage, and support. When I was playing Metaphor, attendance was low. People were not paying attention to the game, and the support was very bad. So it was like a triple whammy. Yeah, I don't know. I am right-clicking and aligning, but it's not auto-centering. Like, let's do a test here, okay? So if I go to, I don't know, since it's anonymous, let's change.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Right-click on it.
We're still working on OBS. So this is more content about the content. Like, in case you were afraid that we were having that some of the content was not about the content, this is about the content because it's setting up OBS.
Now I can't get it to show up anymore. Yeah, see, this is what happened. So somehow I accidentally grabbed the leaderboard and moved it yesterday, and since I did, now the leaderboard doesn't work properly anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, so now the leaderboard I accidentally in OBS grabbed and made it part of the webcam group. I was like, oh shit, it's not supposed to be there.
Then ungroup it.
I accidentally put it part of the sound effects group. Oh, it's not supposed to be there. So I dragged it out and it's not. It's its own thing. But now it's just invisible. It doesn't show up anywhere. Even though it's supposed to be showing.
So I guarantee you that he has it lower on his scene list now. So it was probably on top, right? In the sources list in his scene. And so he accidentally clicked and drug it into a grouped set of scenes. And he was like, oh, I don't want it to be there. So instead of dragging it up and out, he drug it down. And I get why you would do that because like OBS, the way OBS works, it doesn't like it when you try to like move something to the very tippy top of the scene list. So I can understand how if you were like, it's easier in OBS to take a source and take if your second source you want to be the first source rather than clicking the second source and moving it above the first source. It's easier to take the first source and move it below the second source, and then therefore your second source would be the first source, right? So I get like why mechanically he did that, but the dude is. I guarantee you that he drug it down. And so now it's hidden by his other scenes, right? Because that's how the stack is applied, or it's hidden by his other sources because the sources are applied in a stack from the top down. And so now it's behind something. And the dude is so fucking clueless. He does not realize that's what's happened. Professional streamer, by the way.
Delete the leaderboard entirely. Now I have to re-add the leaderboard.
Yeah. See, now he's re-adding the leaderboard and it should come up as the top. Like if he adds the source back, it should be at the top of the list, and then it should show up.
Why can't I find text to add? What is going on? Text, there it is. Jesus Christ. So now the leaderboard's back, as you can see.
Yeah.
So now, as you can see, it's bigger text for some reason. And, oh my God, it did it again. Are you kidding me?
He's so dented.
I'm not even kidding you. It dragged and dropped again into another group. It's in sound effects again.
He's so dented.
It's like all of a sudden things got ultra sensitive, and now I keep dragging and dropping it into a group I don't want it in. It's pissing me off.
It's pissing me off.
Cut this shit out. Now I can't find it again. Fuck, it's text. Oh my God. This is a pain in my ass. I don't know what's going on and why it's causing these problems.
It's because you're clueless, DSP. I spent literally a day and a half fucking around with my OBS to get whatever I got going on here set up.
For so long, had no problems. Now all of a sudden, I just accidentally dragged the leaderboard.
You've been using this program for 16 years. Sorry, that's not true because DSP, I forget that DSP spent a lot of his time pointing a fucking camera at his television. But you've been a content creator for years and years and years using OBS. You shouldn't be this clueless. You should understand the tools to do your job a little better than this. But again, it's because the guy has to have his hand held for everything that he does, and he's utterly helpless without someone literally telling him exactly what to do to solve any of the problems that he has. Iron Kitty Claus in the Kick Chat, the life of a pro streamer.
Anyone know how this fucking works?
Absolutely. Well said, Iron Kitty Claus.
Because when you're on text, you right-click on it, and you go to transform, and then you can say center horizontal.
Okay, I think I've heard enough of this.
So what on earth is going on?
Okay, what's going on? You still haven't told me.
This worked, no lie, it worked all year. I remember OP Boom told me about it, and now simply because the leaderboard errored and glitched out, and I put it in the wrong area, and center, this is insanely stupid.
Oh, no, DSP, you are insanely stupid.
I don't want to have to do this manually every fucking time. It's going to drive me nuts. Why was it working all year up to now? Now it stopped. Simply because, oh, God forbid that I make one small human error and I accidentally drag it into the wrong group, and now it forever is fucked up.
Victim segment.
What is going on?
Leaning in to check the preview again.
Look at all the options. I don't see anything to fix the problem. I don't even know what the problem is. What the hell just happened? Look, it refuses. It refuses to auto-center this fucking thing. No matter what I do, it won't auto-center it. There's a setting called use custom text extents in properties. It's easy and normal to sort, and someone with your experience should already know this. I don't know what you're talking about. Properties. Use custom text extents.
More hand holding from the chat. I've seen about enough. We're still working on it. Oh my God. Are we done?
And no one seems to know anything about how to do that.
No. Why aren't you guys telling me how to fix the problem that I have created because I'm a dumb fuck? Like that's how he is as soon as he meets any amount of resistance. Help, I need help, chat. Like the dude is so clueless. And now we're fucking the chat looking for answers.
And I'm really upset because
I'm really upset.
It's wasting time. And now all day, every time I update the leaderboard, I'm gonna have to fuck with it.
All right, I'm sure there's some gold dust to be mined in here somewhere.
Okay, this doesn't work. I'm turning this off. Incredibly dumb advice. It doesn't do anything. Just fucks with it. It doesn't work. I just need it to auto center. All I need to know how to do. How do you get text to auto center? That's it.
Yeah, we're not.
It's fucked forever now. Good luck getting it to work.
T-pose.
What the fuck is wrong with this shit?
Okay, so piss style man real. It's why I quit computer science in school. The instructors don't speak English and the tech never works. This is really funny because DSP was like a computer science major. Like that's what he started out before he switched to business. And I think his complaint was that he couldn't understand the instructor because his instructor was ESL. And then he couldn't, obviously he was too stupid to understand programming, right? So he ended up switching to business and they gave him a degree somehow.
The dumb nerd who programmed it. Now I can't get text to auto center, even though it did it all year long for me in 2024. Now it won't work.
Yeah, so this is really funny because DSP is someone who has admitted to that programming was too hard, so he doesn't, he wouldn't had to change majors in college, and he loves to talk about how stupid programmers are when he himself is incapable of understanding how programming works. I mean, it's the guy in his truest form, right? It's one of those things that he does that just perfectly encapsulates who he is as a person. Chef's kiss.
I accidentally had an oopsie and drug the leaderboard into the wrong section.
I accidentally did a eeny weeny teeny tiny mistake and now I'm being punished for it. Life is unfair.
Okay, so anyway, we got the 2 mods downloaded. I think they're in the downloads folder, right? Yes, they're in the down. Here they are. They're in the downloads folder.
Oh my God.
Unzip these into the Dark Souls folder. Oh my God! Look what just happened. Are you kidding me? You see what I mean? So what is going on now? Why are the YouTube pop-ups insanely huge for no fucking reason?
Rock hard, Steve Austin. He's a Luddite crying, laughing. Absolutely true. Well said.
Look at this. My YouTube pop-up has been insanely stretched out to ginormous proportions, and I don't know why.
Then fucking stretch it back, dumb fuck. Pissing me off.
Basically, something is broken in OBS. Something is broken where every screen now, everything's fucked up. All the proportions are off. I don't know what happened. I didn't do it. It seems like OBS fucked itself up somehow. There's something broke. Now all my pop-ups are going to be incorrect.
Anyone who does content creation, especially streaming on the internet, I don't know what the use case numbers are, but OBS, I feel like OBS has 90% of the market share for streamers, right? and like I've dabbled with OBS just a hair because I needed it like for professional stuff that I've done occasionally, and I've learned a lot more about it since I like started doing this thing that I'm doing now. But like OBS is not a perfect program, right? Like, and that could be some of like the software integrations that I've had that I set up in order to do this. But like, I don't expect it to be because it's completely free. And as far as I know, yeah, and it's open source because OBS is open broadcasting, whatever. But like, and it's a super powerful program, right? It can do whatever you want it to do as long as you understand what the inputs that it needs and like can get the plugins for it, right? Like OBS is such a cool project, and the fact that it's such a ubiquitous, powerful, effective piece of software, and the fact that it's available for us as the public to use like for free for whatever reason is just so cool. It's mind-boggling. And this guy hits one problem and immediately begins bitching about the people that make his job possible.
They're all going to be giant, and I have to resize them. There, that's fixed because I just resized it. You try something.
All right. That's it. For those of you keeping track at home, that's the fourth time we've been to the mountains on a scene switch. It makes me wonder if he somehow has the hotkeys, like if he has like the same hotkey for it, right? I'm not sure. It depends on how the hotkey was set up, but it is possible that when he hits the hotkey, like one press takes him to the mountains, and then a second press takes him, like, removes the background removal tool. That's probably what it is, but the dude's an idiot. He'll never fix it. Grug face engaged. Eye fucking the preview monitor.
Pop up. They seem to be okay. They're down on the right-hand corner. So I can test that right now. Ready?
And now we're doing live troubleshooting and testing instead of the podcast. So again, more content that is about the content in like the worst possible way.
On the podcast screen. Now it's working over here, but what broke it? I didn't break it.
I didn't break it. I didn't do anything wrong. He just admitted that he did something wrong. And now this is the sixth time we've done this about being in the mountains. And then he'll hit the hotkey again, and then the background removal tool will stop.
So what broke it? Not me. It just broke itself. I didn't do it. This is ridiculous. Technology not working is just a joke. I didn't.
Okay, so that was like 3 or 4 key presses to get from the full screen with the background removal back to this scene with the background removal. But interesting.
Do anything to fuck up the pop-up to make it giant like that. It just did it itself. Decided, I'm going to make an insanely huge pop-up on the screen. Then it decided, the leaderboard will now auto-center. Well, I didn't do that. Why does it stop working?
See,
technology is fucking terrible.
Like, DSP's an idiot, right? Like we accept that.
Auto-center?
All right, we did it. We're in the mountains again. But it's like if you like fuck something up in OBS and you don't know what you did that fucked it up, like because it happens sometimes. Like sometimes you're like trying to do something and OBS has something selected that you think you have something else selected, and then you go to move or resize something and then it like completely fucks something up. Like there's an undo button in OBS, right? Like when he first fucked up his leaderboard, he could have just like hit the undo button and then tried again to like do the thing he intended to do, rather than like screwing fucking everything up.
It's going to proceed to not work. Are you ready? Yep. Same exact text. So you tell me what the difference is between the two screens. It's the same exact text. Just to prove what I'm saying.
I feel like the text size is different, right? So I suspect either he has like a different justification set for these two text like fields, because I feel like they're probably not the same. It's possible they're not the same source, but if they are the same source, like obviously there's a positional issue here, right? Like on the other screen, this is all the way tight to this corner, and there's room. Like the text is the font is just, it has to be bigger, because even with this same text on the other screen, it doesn't bleed off the edge of the screen this badly. So maybe he has like a tab here inserted, or he just doesn't have it all the way to the edge. Like it's possible that he has the justification fucked up, or something of that nature, and it might be trying to center, but he's like moved the justification over, so, and that's why it's bleeding off the right hand side of the screen. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I am curious to see how long it's going to take him to figure this shit out.
The difference is, I have no fucking clue. I really don't. For some reason, the leaderboard is colored green. The line that says leaderboard is colored green on the podcast screen, but isn't colored green on the gameplay screen. Does that mean anything? What about on full screen? It's colored green on full screen, but it's not colored green on the gameplay screen. So what does that line, what does it mean when an asset line is colored green in OBS? Because that's the major difference. So basically, there must be something applied to it on one of these screens and not the other, and I don't know what it is.
He's so stupid. Like he could, like if something's applied to it, like you could just look at your filters and just find that out, right? Like you could just do the work and fucking figure it out.
I did copy paste from the other screen to this one. I literally just added text that already exists on another screen to this one, and that's why the text is linked. That's why I could change the text on this screen to the other, and it's on both. That's what I'm saying. I have done everything as you should, yet on two screens, it's auto-centering.
I've done nothing wrong.
And I don't get the difference. Like I said, the only thing I can tell is that when I'm on the podcast screen here, the leaderboard line is colored in green, and I don't know what that means when it's colored in green. It sounds like there's a setting or something there. It's insane. And I have no time to install mods because of this bullshit. This is ridiculous.
Oh, now we're out of time to install mods. Oh no, you guys, this is going to cut into the gameplay. The podcast is going to go long because we couldn't figure our shit out. Oh no.
If I'm looking at, so it's highlighted green, but again, I don't know the difference. I don't know what it means, highlighted green. I have no fucking clue. So when I go to properties, it's the same properties. In each screen, it's exactly the same properties. No, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, in OBS, you have a list of sources. Okay? Sources could include, for example, a line of text, a video that plays.
And now we're getting pig-splained how OBS works from the guy who very obviously doesn't understand how OBS works.
The leaderboard line shows as a green color.
Another classic DSP type segment.
I don't know what the colors signify in OBS. Now, on this screen, it shows as green, so it's auto-centering and auto-correcting the text, and it all fits automatically for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay? When I go to full screen, it does exactly the same thing. But when I go to gameplay screen, it doesn't do it anymore.
This troubleshooting segment has lasted so long. This is painful for me. Like I'm trying to be productive while I'm spending my time like fucking around watching DSP content. But it's been tough.
I don't understand why it's colored green here, but not or green over there and not green here. I don't know what it. Are you shitting me? It did it again. Something is going on where this mouse has become ultra sensitive, and now it's dragging and dropping stuff in places I don't want it. Okay, I just got it out again. So all
right, so now we're blaming the mouse. Cool.
What's happening is this leaderboard is being grouped into things I don't want it to be into.
And like he could be showing us like it's the hand holding segments fucking suck, right? But like DSP is so inept that he can't even capture his desktop and show us like what exactly is going on. He just keeps switching between these two scenes where he has to describe what's happening in his OBS with the hope that someone in his chat is going to be able to tell us what's going on, right? He just keeps switching back and forth between them because he's like testing stuff, but like he doesn't need to like broadcast that. Like he could be showing us, like he could put his OBS as the scene that he's switching to. But he's like that, even like that would make this maybe a little bit more interesting. And he's just not capable of even considering doing something like that. I'm not sure he would know how to do something like that.
That's the problem. So basically it got deleted by accident. Okay. I re-add it and now the settings are gone, but I don't know what the settings were. And when I look at this text in the other screen, settings apply, it doesn't show the settings. So somehow in the
yeah, no shit.
Centering and auto adjusting the text size, but on this screen it won't do it. And I have no idea how to get it to do it.
It's because you're stupid, DSP. Like, and so it's my understanding that in OBS is that the sources persist, like the settings you have for a particular source persist or tend to, like, outside of like the location and size on the scene canvas, like those persist as long as like that source exists somewhere, right? And so the fact that he like deleted it, I mean, that can't be true, right? Otherwise he would have to change it whenever he like switches to a different scene. So I don't know. But the part that I think the big takeaway is that the guy's really dumb and has zero problem solving skills. And now we're shaking our head and we're staring at chat. Someone, you know, help. Oh, I have a, is it this one? Yeah.
It doesn't fucking show the settings. Like I click on the line, you know there's settings applied because it's glowing green. So it's got some kind of adjustment on it, but I don't know what it is. And it doesn't seem to be any way to find out what it is. How dumb is this shit? I'd love to figure out the settings. I don't know how.
Try not to have too much fun with that.
See those settings anywhere.
I'm
gonna add it here, because if I add it here,
I'm kind of running out of patience for this, and I have to sneeze again.
I don't know why it's colored blue or red in OBS. This is all new to me. My old OBS that I used for all those years didn't have any colors. I was using the outdated OBS and had no colors whatsoever, so this is all new to me now. Well, I don't even know what to do. The leaderboard will not auto-adjust whatsoever, as you can see. See? No matter what I do, it won't auto-adjust. I said fit to screen. You put it in the fucking
Rock hard Steve Austin saying that it's really hard to help you when we can't see the problem, and he's just gonna like there's no way DSP is gonna address that even if he sees it. Oh, we got Darziak in the YouTube chat. What our boy Darziak have to say?
Stupid piece of garbage.
I don't know how you're getting green. Cool.
Oh my god. Fuck. Go. We didn't even get to install the mod.
All right, and this is the classic giving up pose.
Like, seriously, it's like you're going to a job site, and there's a nail on a wall. You got to put it in a wall, and there's a hammer. So you take the hammer, and you go to hit the nail, and as you do it...
All right, let's see. I'm not sure. This is a fucking stupid, like... This is a fucking stupid metaphor. It's not... That's not the case. So I'm just gonna take a little peek ahead here and see if we can get out of this dented segment.
We're we supposed to install some mods or something? Oh yeah, what are we doing here? So we have to put these files into the Dark Souls file folder, right? So if I do this, extract all.
And like he could have like probably started this even with the leaderboard being fucked up.
Dark Souls Remastered. This one. They said the one that has the EXE in it. Well, I don't know what this doesn't have an EXE in it. See, now this is going to fuck with me. No, it's not going to do it. It wants to extract to a folder. Well, I don't want it to extract to a folder. I want it to just go to put the files in this folder.
Yeah, so pick this folder. Like.
Okay, so copy and replace. Do this for all conflicts. That's what we want to do. Copy and replace.
He's so stupid.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I wonder how much... And dented clap.
Technology is so amazing. It shoves a cactus up your rectum. Oh, thing, right?
All right. I don't want to hear, scat shit.
Okay. So now if we boot the game up, it should have better graphics, supposedly. Dark Souls Remastered.
All right. So we've left the... I thought I had to sneeze again. Did not. So it looks like DSP at least thinks he's installed the mods.
So now if we boot the game up, it should have better graphics, supposedly, right?
And why do we leave?
I do a live testing. Dark Souls Remastered. I have to get my controller. Hold on.
Oh, we have to get our controller, which is across the room for some stupid fucking reason. I talked about that when DSP was doing his great like setup review the other day. Like the fact that he uses his controllers at his desk but keeps them all the way across the room underneath his TV is just one of the many like head scratchers of why does DSP do the things he does? It makes zero sense.
Bat file. See the description from the site.
That was fucking stupid. Like these are the things that DSP thinks is really funny, and I think he like hopes people will like make clips of that, and it's like that's just embarrassing. Like, how old are you?
Okay. Download the main file, unpack the rare file, copy the folder. We did that. Download materials update, copy to your Dark Souls remastered folder, overwrite when asked. We did that too. That was the second file we did, correct? Then you run the game using a bat file located here. Mod Engine 2 launch mod. Is that there? Mod Engine 2. Launch mod Dark Souls remastered. This is it.
Is he gonna know how to run this?
It won't let me.
Yeah, he doesn't. Like this again, this guy is so inept. Yeah, chat had to tell him, click more info, run anyways.
Oh my god. Amazing. Bat mods.
Like this is peak like classic DSP behavior. He meets any amount of resistance. Windows protected your PC. Guys, I tried to run it. It didn't work. What am I supposed to do? And then chat has to Darziak here in chat, hit more info. Hit more Swaganito, hit more info. Like this is how piss poor this guy's problem solving is that he has conditioned his chat is to when he meets any amount of resistance to immediately begin giving him like help, right? Like most people who work with computers, they understand, like they've seen this screen before and they understand like what to do when this happens. Not this guy. He is so fucking clueless.
More info. Run anyway.
And I'm honestly surprised that we didn't. Okay, I'm not listening to that again. I'm surprised we didn't get more bitching about like how it just quote unquote doesn't work.
There's no audio. Nothing. Oh wait, it's the wrong keyboard. I'm so stupid. Alt plus enter.
Yeah, more tech support from Darziak in the chat. He's so stupid. It hurts.
What the? I wanted to close it and it fucking went full screen again.
Okay, I'm very quickly running out of patience for the guy struggles to do anything on his computer.
It's trying to do. It is working. It was running at 4K.
It was probably running at 4K because you're using a 4K monitor, or your canvas size in OBS is 4K, right?
I have to take it offline. Now, how do I do that?
Does it not say offline in the top left-hand corner? Yeah, start offline. It's right there.
Ah, look.
Okay, we're one of our favorite DSP, DSP shits is menu navigation. Where was it?
I have to play offline.
Yeah. Oh, it says okay. I am dented. It says online in the top. I could have swore that said offline earlier.
I have to take it offline. Now, how do I do that? Dang. Oh. All this?
Okay, if this is
It looks pretty darn good, man. Look at the graphics.
I'm thinking this is just a preview. This is a test, a teaser, a taste test for the gameplay. I don't think he's actually doing the gameplay because we didn't, as far as I know, we didn't actually like conclude the podcast unless I missed it when I was burning through some skip juice. Yeah. So we're just dicking around making sure it works. So I don't want to watch any of that.
Right? First save point. It's gonna save now. Remember when I was anti-mods? Welcome to the mod universe. Hell yeah. Let's quit the game. All right, now. So that is the base mod for graphics. Now, obviously, how do I quit out of this, actually? I said, okay. How do I quit? Quit game. Okay. It's a quick game.
Bro's never alt F4'd in his life.
The frame rate's sick. It's silky smooth. And that was absolutely awesome.
Super silky smooth, 120 hertz.
I still need the file from the install instructions. Why? Why do I need that? This is an optional add-on.
I
guess not. I guess that's to be straight improvement.
Okay. I kind of just want to be done. I feel like this is just gonna be a nothing burger. Like he has too many flying monkeys in his YouTube chat to actually like get any good content out of the guy. I feel like at this point. So
decide, like the one that I was gonna do. So there's a mod that changes the whole game.
Oh my god, do we have more mods to install? Christ, please just shoot me. Okay, whatever he did, he goes back into the game. All right. So it looks like we're like 15 minutes out. It appears from the end of the podcast. We're just gonna oops. Oh, it's something wrong with the sensitivity of my mouse.
All right, I get this.
All right, can we?
Well, I would have liked to had that finished. Sadly, I don't. I don't really know how to get it to work. I wish I did, but I'm not a tech savvy dude when it comes to mods. So
I'm not a tech savvy dude when it comes to mods. You could have just stopped at I'm not a tech savvy dude, or I'm just not a savvy dude.
I just completely uninstall the game and start fresh, but that means no graphics mods. So what does that mean? Do I have to do that mod first and then do the graphics mod after?
All right, I don't care enough, but it sounds like he might have fucked it up like with his mod order install. I don't care enough to find out.
Just completely delete the entire game, right? Like uninstall and reinstall from scratch or something? I don't know. All right, guys. Well, anyway, we got to end the show. The show's gone extra long. It's another 2.5 hour podcast of me doing tech stuff. At least we're halfway there, I feel, right? At least there was
2.5 hours doing tech stuff.
Worked, right?
Awesome content, dude.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching the Level 1 Confusion podcast, another tech disaster podcast. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have it figured out. I don't know. I just have to see if people can figure it out or not and tell me what happened and what went wrong. But I would like to try Dark Souls with you all tomorrow, if possible. But thank you for asking. Or thank you for watching.
So I know that like, you know, the slideshow's the slideshow or whatever, but you know, Karen Side Burnell, the woman's wig Halloween costume, like that was a gift. Thank you for that, Phil.
I hope to see you soon for more awesome, chill fun here on the show tomorrow. And see you then. All right, whatever. Whatever. I'm so confused. My brain feels fried now. It seriously does.
My brain feels fried now. This dude had to problem solve for what I think was approximately 15 to 20 minutes with hand holding from his chat, and now his brain is fried. This shows how much like cognitive ability that the dude has.
Like, I don't like doing that stuff. If it was straightforward and easy to figure out, but like I fought with OBS.
Yeah, like we know you don't like actually doing any work or having to solve any problems, DSP. Like we know that. We can tell.
For a good half an hour.
And like this is one of those like nothing statements that DSP makes all the time. It's like, wow, I really don't like doing hard things. I wish the hard things were easier to do. Yeah. I'm fairly certain that most people who have to do things that aren't exclusively for the challenge of doing something difficult would want those things to be easier. But the dude, he just says stuff. He just says things because he has to pad time and fill dead air.
And then I went to do that, and that wasn't straightforward. And it's like,
it's not straightforward. It's not easy enough.
All right, well, I have to use the bathroom quickly. It won't be long.
All right, we got a bathroom break. So that was the end of the podcast.
Guys, it would be great if you could support the stream. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, we got to get a bag, you know, the pre-break bag. It never goes smoothly.
Now, Audi Normal says, advice from a modder, don't install mods directly into your game. Use a program like Vortex or MO2. I guess I could, but I don't see... What's the big deal of doing it into the game? Right? Like, if I don't care about it screwing up the base game because I don't have a save file of it, then it's not a big deal, right? I think that's the point. It doesn't really matter.
Let me out. Take your bathroom break so I can leave.
It's boss mode Santa.
More funny DSP moments. Yeah, full screen. And then got to be very careful getting out of the chair. And he, like, it's so weird to me that, like, does he not have another scene for this? Like he just leaves his chair just hanging out in the scene. Okay, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm done. I've seen enough. So that was the restream of the guy. This was probably like one of the worst pre-stream podcasts that I've had the unfortunate displeasure of watching. So like, being a restreamer, hats off to those guys, because the people who are really talented at it, like, they make it so much more bearable to listen to, like, all of what the guy goes through. And like, I don't watch the guy raw ever, except when I started doing this, because it's not fair to like restream a restreamer, but like that's pretty silly. And so I'm used to having like that filter, that barrier between me and the raw content, and golly gee willikers, it is tough. So yeah, I'm still sick. I'm hopefully through the end of it, or hopefully through the worst of it. Yeah, so we'll keep trucking, and maybe I'll be back and doing this tomorrow.